This video is going to teach you how to, or show you how to change your IP address on Windows 7 so that you can actually connect directly to a printer with a network cable and either print to it to update firmware or view its web interface. So to do that, the first thing you want to do is just click on the Start button, and then you're going to have this Search Program and Files box. Just type in there. You want to find View Network Connection. So I'm going to type in View and space Network Connection or Network, and I started typing an NE. That gives me it right here. So I'm going to click on that. That brings up the window. And now I have wireless and my local area connection. I want to change my wired connection because that's what's going to be hooked to the printer. So I right click and I go to Properties. And then this window comes up and I want to change my TCP/IP version 4 network connection. So I'm going to hit Properties again, and now here's where I can actually change it. So I would just click Use the following IP address. Now since I'm trying to connect to a printer, I need my notebook computer to be in the same network as my printer so I can communicate with it. So I would print off or just keep in my head what the subnet mask and IP is. In the subnet mask, I would put exactly what my printer has. Okay, and most of the time you're going to get 255.255.255.0. And then I would need to put in exactly above all these 255s. That has to be exactly what my printer has in it, which is 192.168.1 is pretty common. But anyway, these just need to match exactly what my printer has. Now the last area here, the last number, you do not want that to match what your printer is. It needs to be one off. So let's say my printer IP was 192.168.1. Then I would go ahead and put in here, let's say the printer's .25, then I would put .26. Technically, this can be anything from 1 to 254, and they would be on the same network, but I would just move it one off. So my printer's 192.168.1.25. I'm going to make my computer .26. If they're the same, they'll conflict with each other and they won't be able to communicate. So once that's done, I can just hit OK and close that down. And now I've got my IP address correct here in my computer. Now I should be able to plug my network cable from my computer into the printer, and I should be able to open up Internet Explorer or Chrome, whatever I want, type in the IP address of the printer, and it should work. Now the next step is, let's say I did want to actually send firmware to this with the print driver. Then I would go to my Start button here, and I would want to go to Devices and Printers. And then if it's an HP, I would want to pick my HP Universal driver right here. And then I would just right click it. And when it opens up here, I'm going to go ahead and hit Properties. So I could actually Printer Properties. So click on Printer Properties. And then I'm going to click on Ports, and now I need to change the port of this printer to whatever the port of whatever the IP address of my printer is I'm trying to update the firmware on to. So I'm going to click Add Port. I'm going to click Standard TCP/IP port. I'm going to click New Port, and then I'm going to click Next, and I'm going to type in 192.168.1. And we said it was going to be 25, and I'm going to hit Next, and then it's going to take a minute here because I don't actually have that port. So I'm going to pause, and when it comes back up, okay, now I paused the recording for a minute, and now this window comes back up. Now it says the device is not found on the network. And that's true because I wasn't actually connected directly to the device. So if you don't have your network cable plugged into the printer yet, you're going to get this message. Now you can just click next and go on past it. If your cable is plugged into the printer, then it's going to say it found it. But all you need to do is just use this generic network card, hit next, and then it says it created the port, and you click on finish. And now when you close this, you can apply it. At this point, I would go ahead and again, to do this, you'd want to make sure the network cable was plugged into your printer. Hit a test page and make sure you can print a test page to your printer before you do a firmware update. Hope this has been helpful to you, and thank you for viewing.